Thank you once again for stopping in our podcast. This is episode 4, where we'll be doing our top 10 Star Wars characters. So sit back, relax, and may the Force be with you.
Okay, so welcome back to episode 4. We're talking this time about our top 10 Star Wars characters. And I'll just repeat what you said. If anyone knows Kenneth, he lives for top 10s, top 100s. If ever we are bored, he throws on a top 100 music videos of all time, or of the 90s, or top 100 songs, or top 100 artists. So this was right up his alley to do a top 10 Star Wars characters list.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Star Wars in general, so.
True.
But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting hearing both of our lists. We'll see what happens and what compares. So how you want to do this? You want me to just lay out my 10, and then you lay out your 10, and we say why we have each of those?
I actually don't know how to conduct this. Should we just do...
I'd say either we do...
Me?
One person does their whole list, and then the next person does their whole list, and then what we'll do is we'll discuss our list together.
Or do one at a time. Like start at 10 and I give my 10, you give your 10.
Well, I didn't put it in a list like that. Did you put it in that order?
Oh, yeah. You said top 10.
I did top 10, but to me, I don't put them in like number 10 that's my top 10. I didn't put it in that.
I ranked them.
That was too hard. That was going to be way too hard. It was hard enough just picking 10. I wasn't going to put them in an order.
Okay, so maybe then we'll just...
Yeah, mine is not in an order.
Okay.
So even when you look at the 10, it's not going to be like, oh, this person's number 1 for me. It's just, that's my top 10.
Okay, so then we'll just read them.
We'll read them? So you want to read? I'll read mine first since mine's going to be the first one.
Yeah.
And then I'll have you read yours. And then we'll discuss them and explain why each of those characters are on our top 10.
I like that idea.
And then we'll talk about who's missing in those top 10s. Like, what's the surprises in each of our top 10s of who's missing.
Okay.
Because there's got to be people missing, clearly.
Facts.
That's the other reason I like about top list. At the end of it, you're like, ooh. Like, after we did that top Disney song, I was like, ooh, I forgot about this one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, you know, the other day I was driving down the road and I was listening to my Disney playlist that I had, and a song came on, Zero to Hero from Hercules. And I'm not like a huge fan of the Hercules movie, but that song came on and I was like, this song goes hard.
The song does go hard.
It goes hard. And that wasn't even on my list because I forgot about it. But
let's get into it. All right, so I'll do mine first. Bear with me. I'm going to have to pull up my note here. Again, this is not in order. So even if I say this is my first one, I'm not saying that this character is my number 1.
Sorry, I was singing the song.
Let's go. I just look over and she's like, dig it.
I was singing Zero to Hero and no time flat. Sorry, since we were talking about that's in my head.
Okay. Do you want me to rank them?
No,
You want me to take the time to rank?
It
just seemed too hard. It just seemed way too hard to pick an actual who's number 1. So I just was doing a list of my top 10. Okay, again, no specific order, people.
People? Why do you say people?
It's just my turn. Everyone's people.
No.
You're not a person?
I'm not a person. I am. Never mind.
All right. So, my top 10. I got Chewbacca up there. It should be a given. Let's see. I got Yoda, which hints the Yoda shirt that I'm wearing. I had Darth Maul. I got Darth Vader, obviously. Han Solo, which I saw Susan said Han Solo. Yes, I agree. Grogu has slipped into my top 10. He's just too cute. And Kalani loves her, so I have to put Grogu up there. Boba Fett is in my top 10. And honestly, if you had me rank them, that probably... it'd be a close.
Okay,
1 and
so
2
I know
between Boba Fett
you're
and Yoda.
not going to rank yours, but I'm going to have to rank mine.
That's fine.
I'm going to rank
That's
mine.
fine if you're going to rank yours. I put Mace Windu in there. And I don't know if I spelled his last name right, but that's fine. R2-D2. And we'll talk about why I have each of these. And Lando. That is my top 10. Mm-hmm. Are you mad at this list?
No, because those are all really good ones. Oh, okay. So
go ahead with your list.
My
What's your top 10?
All right.
I already know, though, people that are going to come in late to this stream are going to be so mad looking at this list. Like, what number? You have Chewbacca or whoever they don't want to be number 1 and 2 and 3. It's like again, it's just my top 10.
Okay, so we're starting with number 1.
Well, whoever, yeah.
So
if you're ranking them, go ahead and
I'm
say
gonna
that's
rank
your
them.
number 1.
So we're gonna go number 1 being like the best of the best. Okay, in my list, Boba Fett, which if anybody knows me, Boba Fett is my ride or die. I will always choose Boba Fett. All right. My number 2 is R2-D2. Even though R2-D2... Okay, I'm not going to explain. Because we're going to explain. Okay. Number 2, R2-D2. So that's 3. Okay. 4, Savage. Opress.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As 3. Bro's a beat.
3?
As 3. As
okay,
in,
we'll talk
yeah.
about it, but
Yeah.
that's
SAVAGE.
Hold on, I'm trying to line it up, too.
It's not going to. I mean, maybe for Darth Vader, you could just do Darth
Nah, it's fine.
Okay.
Savage.
Opress. Just do OP. So then we know, yeah. And then under that, on number 4 is Darth Maul. Yep. And then 5 is Darth Vader. Okay. On to the next. Ahsoka Tano. And these are all from
Right?
AH.
No, I did that wrong.
AH. Ahsoka.
I thought it's...
No, it's AH. Ahsoka. Yeah. Tano. Well, you just put T. Yeah. All of these kind of are relevant to Clone Wars because I'm watching that. Alright, Padme. And then...
Padme or Queen Amidala? I'm just checking.
They're the same person.
I'm just messing.
Okay, don't be a hater. Jabba the Hutt.
Really? So
Don't be a hater.
I don't want to talk about.
Don't be a hater.
I did think about Jabba.
You were all sorts of.
Not
It's
even
two
gonna-
B's.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Well, I'm not gonna do the.
just do Jabba, yeah. And then Princess Leia. And this one was a hard tie between these two individuals, and I could not figure it out. Cad Bane or Hondo.
You got to pick one.
I can't.
No, you have to pick one.
I can't.
That's a top 10. You've got to. You're gonna leave one out, and we'll talk about why you picked the other one. You've got to leave one out.
Between Cad Bane or Hondo? I can't. Okay, since I already have a bounty hunter, I'm gonna go with a pirate. So Hondo.
It's H-A, right?
No. H-O. Han, like Honda. But with an O.
Wow, you surprised me.
Why?
I don't know. I thought there would be a mix or some other like big name characters.
What do you mean big name characters?
I mean, like Chewie and all them, but I get it. I'm not mad at it. I just didn't expect that to be in those would be in your top 10. And ranked top 10. That was probably. I knew Boba Fett would be up there. I knew Boba Fett was number
guaranteed would be number
one. And like I said, for me, if I was actually ranking mine, Boba Fett. Again, ranking is too hard for me. I would say it would be between Boba Fett and Yoda, for me personally. But I'm not going to get into that argument of who I'm ranking. I'm just going to throw these top 10s in there. Wow. But I expected that. So what's funny is once you said Ahsoka, for me, Ahsoka, it's not that she doesn't like Grogu. It's just not her top 10. That makes sense.
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about Grogu.
Oh, you mean like the backstory?
Like the backstory. I know that he is similar to Yoda and that he has a lot of powers and he's old. But I think we've only scratched the surface of what he's capable of. But I don't know his story, so I can't. All these ones that I have as on a list here, I know their story, and that's the reason why I like them. Like, are we gonna?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
we're talking about it.
So Boba Fett is a given. R2-D2 is a given. So I chose R2-D2 as number 2 because
of Clone Wars. After watching it more,
after watching Clone Wars
seeing how much of a beast R2-D2.
Yeah, R2-D2 really. Like R2-D2 saves their butts most of the time. Like he's the one who saves, and I was amazed, and that's why he's my number 2. Like if I had a droid, it would be R2-D2 because he is it. I also chose Savage Opress because even though he's kind of
his name it's his name, Savage.
Yeah. Even though he's kind of being led by Darth Maul, and he's kind of the one who does all of the heavy work, he is a beast.
Mm-hmm.
He is a beast. And Darth Maul too. Even though like their backstory is kind of dark and a little bit scary, they are amazing. They are beasts. Do you want to know why I chose Jabba the Hutt?
Why? I do want to know that. That one, I did think of Jabba, but I was like, not in my top 10 though, because I thought about him because he's funny to me. That's why I put him up there.
So the reason why I chose Jabba the Hutt is because if you look at the Hutts, they're very similar to the Mob. I love anything to do with the Mob.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. And that's why I chose Jabba's like slimy and gross and ugh. But what he does, the person he is, the family that he's in, all the Hutts, it's like a mob. And I love it.
I don't think there's anything that's surprising to me about your top 10 personally, just knowing you. But it is surprising to me the ranking, that you actually ranked it the way you did. Boba Fett wasn't surprising to me. R2-D2, not really, but to have Savage up there was surprising to me. I was like, oh, really? 3? Over the other people, that was surprising to me.
I think usually I would choose Darth Vader. Usually I would have Darth Vader, like, probably under Boba Fett. But after learning about Darth Maul and Savage, Darth Vader is not even as strong as they are.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well,
in my opinion.
I don't think he's as savage as them, clearly, because he ends up becoming good by the end of it.
Darth Vader?
Well, I mean, he helps Luke at the end, so.
True.
So in that sense, yes, I would say. But the one that you put on there was Ahsoka, and Ahsoka was, I told you earlier that I didn't tell her my top 10. I was grappling, though, with the final one, and Ahsoka was one of the people I was going between them putting up there or not. But I ended up going with Lando.
Ahsoka, though, to watch her growth is amazing. She went from such a young Padawan who
and you still haven't even finished it yet.
Yeah, was kind of wayward to leading these younger Padawans to find their crystals for their lightsabers and build it, and then essentially saving them from Hondo. Like, come on, she's dope.
The only one that I'd say I was surprised isn't in your top one is Han Solo. That one was surprising to me that Han wasn't up there. Why didn't you put Han up there? Was he even?
He was. I couldn't.
In like a close one, or?
Why didn't I choose him? I didn't choose him because I didn't know where to put him. Because he's not like my favorite character. And he seems like he's always just tired of everybody. And
that's why I like him.
That's why you like him.
Well, I like him because, Han Solo, I like him because of the... Same with Lando. The reason I picked both of them, they both have a certain swag about them.
True.
And when I say Lando, I'm not talking, and even Han, I'm not talking about the newer one. I'm talking about the original Han Solo, which is Harrison Ford, and then Billy D. Williams, which Billy D. Williams had so much swag.
Yeah. I don't know, I didn't see him as not that he didn't deserve to be on a top 10 list, because he does, but for my list, he just isn't
that was just surprising. That one was a surprising one to me.
He's not my favorite.
Is there any on my side that was surprising that they made my top 10 to you?
For you, Grogu. Grogu is the only one, because all the other ones are to be expected. Those ones are the OGs, like
Solo and Vader and Yoda and Chewbacca.
Yeah, like Mace Windu and Lando. I already knew were already going to be on your list.
Why, is it because I'm black?
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons I put them up there. I put both of them up there. But it wasn't more the character. It was more the people that played them. Samuel L. Jackson. And then Samuel only having his... I don't like Finn like that.
Finn is...
I don't like any of the newer characters like that. I knew from the start I wouldn't have... If anyone,
you know what Finn I like? I like the Lego Finn.
The Lego... from the actual... I'm just not a... I still need to watch the new ones again, and to me... What's interesting about Star Wars in general to me is, they have all the different sagas, and people can argue about which one's better, whatever. I don't really care about that because I feel like each one is for whichever generation is at that time. I personally don't. I wouldn't put any of the newer ones on my top, but they're interesting. I like watching them. But yeah, I wouldn't put any of the characters in my top 10, unfortunately. The person that I was going in between with, I was going between picking the top 10. Again, I didn't rank them, but I was going against Lando, Ahsoka, and then Obi-Wan was the other one I was thinking about putting in there. Exactly my point. And Obi-Wan was very hard not to put on there.
Best line. Hello there.
or I have the high ground, Annie.
I have the high ground.
And that's why it was so hard. I was like, ooh. But I was like, I can't leave Lando out, though. Lando's my boy, And so, why is he? But yeah. And then one that I knew you wouldn't have on there. And I knew I wasn't going to have him on there. And he wasn't even thought of as a top 10 for me, but I feel like some people might look at this list and be like, how do you not have him on there? Is Luke. Luke isn't on either of ours. Is there a reason he's not on yours? Because I can tell you my reason.
Just like Anakin, he seems a little whiny.
Yep.
Which one was he in where he was...
The first one, really, at the very beginning, when he's crying about to Ant and going in to get power converters.
Luke?
Yeah.
Also, when he was with Yoda, trying
Yeah.
to find the like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, it takes time. Stop complaining. Like such a whiner. And that kind of carried through.
Yeah.
Seeing him like that was.
That's exactly why I don't like Luke. I love Mark Hamill, but I don't like the character Luke, even though Mark Hamill played Luke perfectly. But I just can't stand his character in the first two. He's awesome in Return of the Jedi because he's a monster in Return of the Jedi. And then they brought him back and then he was a weak person again.
Yeah.
I knew Princess Leia would be in yours because I know how you felt about Princess Leia. And, whoa, her name just escaped me. Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher has a special place in my heart. So, I had to put Princess Leia on there. But I love Princess Leia, and then I also wasn't she a governor in the newer ones? Or what was she?
I don't even remember what she was. Commander? General? I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
Again, I've got to
And
rewatch the new ones
she,
again. I've only watched those once.
Yeah, she was my favorite. I liked her. And plus, she's Darth Vader's daughter? Come on. And she's not whiny like Luke.
Yeah.
Blech.
Yeah. She was completely opposite. She definitely got
She
the Vader genes, not the Anakin.
Yeah, she was very secure in who she was, and she did what she needed to do, and she was a beast. She was just she was perfect.
I'm trying
She
to
was
think.
absolutely perfect.
Is there any other major ones that are missing on this other than Luke? Luke, like I said, I assume people would probably be like, I mean, if you're into the new ones, you're probably, like she said, Finn's missing, Rey. Kylo would probably, out of all the new ones, Kylo is probably the only one I could.
Who is Darth Bane?
I don't know. That one's a new one for me.
Okay, let me look.
Again, I feel like,
Let me just look.
what's funny is I feel like we're big Star Wars fans, but we're not huge Star Wars fans.
Yeah, there's some people that we.
Some people we know that has read all the books, knows all the lore, all the backstory.
That
we
would
don't know all
be-
that, obviously. We know
That
stuff
would
from
be Uncle
the Lackey.
him. He would be the one.
I think Uncle Eric and them would probably follow that too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Let me see. Let me just take a gander here. I'm gonna look the daughter.
You're just looking at like a top
I'm
list?
just looking at all
Or
of them.
Star Wars characters in general?
just all
Who's
of them.
another big one? I don't know. But yeah, I put Grogu up there because of Kalani.
Greedo.
Because, Greedo. You do it better than me, I don't.
Uta tuta solo. Zambishole.
I put Grogu on there though because again, he's just too cute.
Okay.
And Kalani loves Grogu. So.
Jango Fett.
See, I thought Jango Fett too, but to me, I wasn't going to put Boba and Jango Fett in the top 10. And again, I think it's more like how you were saying you don't know the background of Grogu. There's a lot I know about Jango, but I don't know a lot about Jango. Ooh, General Grievous. That's actually a good one.
He's always sick.
That's why you don't like it.
No, but he's actually a beast. I feel like he kills more people because he has 4 arms.
And 4 sabers with him?
And 4 sabers. Like, he's a beast. He never dies. He always escapes.
I forgot about General Grievous. Yeah, General Grievous.
I thought about him, but
I don't think I'll
like,
put him in my top 10, but
he's
definitely up there.
He's not worth a top 10, but he's up there. Maybe like a
20.
12.
Yeah, I was going to say he's in there. Jango was the seed giver. That is true. Without Jango, there would be no Boba, clearly. Well, yeah.
Do you remember who that is?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I would need to see the face.
me too.
Who else is a big one that we don't have on there, I guess?
Asajj Ventress?
Ooh. She's pretty savage.
She is.
Asajj Ventress?
Asajj.
Ooh.
She is. Qui-Gon?
See, I thought Qui-Gon... See, the reason I didn't put Qui-Gon and Jango is because they didn't really last as long, I guess, in the movie parts, you know. they didn't survive. All these other people, well, I guess technically Qui-Gon did. But Jango Fett definitely did not survive. That man got his head cut off by Mace Windu. But Boba Fett, we end up... The only thing I will say, I feel like that ruined Boba Fett with the new book series, the book thing on Disney Plus. Yeah, the Book of Boba. That was kind of disappointing. I was very excited for it, but then it was just kind of like, yeah, this was okay.
Really?
No, I liked
it a lot.
I liked it a lot, but there was a lot of times where it was just kind of like, I don't feel like watching this. Mainly when he was with the same people.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, every single part.
It didn't
Boba
gravitate
is like
to me like it did with Mando. And Mandalorian was one of the other ones I almost put up there, but
I feel like that's like people will expect you to say that because it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But
but I honestly thought about Mando just because I was putting Grogu up there.
I'm almost through. There's not really anybody that I'm seeing.
That's like,
yeah.
I will say with Jango Fett though, they made a video game, Bounty Hunter. That game was filthy. It was very hard, but it was about Jango Fett and some of the missions he had to complete before Episode 1. I've never beaten the game, but the game was hard.
I'm gonna read this about Savage Opress. If you don't know who he is, this is who he is. All right. Savage Opress is a Darth Marian Sarbuk Night Brother and the brother of Darth Maul. He is handpicked by Asajj Ventress as part of her scheme to kill Count Dooku. Count Dooku's kind of a beast too, but he's kind of behind the scenes. For the attempt on her life as she is altered by the Night Sisters, becoming more of a berserker on Ventress's call to the point of killing Farrell, who is her adopted brother, without remorse. Opress manages to become Dooku's new apprentice and learns only a bit in the ways of the Sith before Ventress has him help her fight off Dooku.
You might run into a...
No, I've seen all this.
Spoiler there.
I've seen all this already.
Yeah, you've seen all that, but what if you keep reading then you hit one that you weren't expecting?
Nope, I've seen all these.
Just wait, you'll be like, ugh, I shouldn't have read it. I just thought of someone, though, when you were talking about it, that's basically in the whole entire series so far, in all the movies at least, that I thought about, but I was like, I'm not going to put him in my entire... Palpatine, Darth Sidious. This dude's in every single one, almost.
Yeah.
He's all the way up. He was even in the newer ones.
Bro never dies.
Unlimited power.
He has unlimited power and unlimited life. I'm in the peas, so.
It just popped in my head. I was like, ooh.
Oh, you know.
You know who you didn't talk about, though?
Who?
Jar Jar. Everyone's favorite, right?
Nobody's favorite. You know who was kind of a disappointing character? I just saw her. I saw the name. Captain Phasma.
Yeah, I thought they were going to dive more into her.
Sorry, I think you could hear that on the thing. Yeah, I was excited, Her armor looked dope. She seemed pretty cool, and then she really was not. She wasn't interesting.
Yeah, I thought she was going to be more, and I don't know. I thought she would do more. It is interesting the people they had even be behind, like the people they paid to be there and do stuff, because Daniel Craig was a stormtrooper who's Bond.
Oh,
He's the random stormtrooper that said something, and then that lady is from... She was known from Game of Thrones as this monster person, but... Yeah, I watched Game of Thrones, and
oh, you know
and
who
she
else?
is really that big.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I said that. I said out of the new
Oh.
people, Kylo Ren would probably be. And I'll be honest with you, the main reason I'd probably pick Kylo Ren up there is because his lightsaber. That's one of the main reasons Darth Maul is one of my favorite, is his lightsaber and everything else. But yeah, when Kylo Ren's lightsaber, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But the only thing with his lightsaber, I really don't know what you're going to do with those two ends that come out. Do those do anything? Or are they just for show? I feel like they probably do cut you, but is it really going to hurt you?
I don't know.
It's just for looks.
Let me look. 'Cause there's not anybody who is popping out to me. So,
I think we covered almost.
I think we did.
I don't think there's anyone that I feel like is drastically missing.
Honorable mentions. Yaddle.
Which one's Yaddle again? The name sounds familiar, but for some reason I'm not picturing it.
She's the female, same species as Yoda, but a female.
Oh.
She,
Yeah. I know who you're talking about now. She's like in a small part of episode 1, right? Or 2? One of the two.
yeah, I was just kidding. Oh, yeah. See? Zero the Hutt.
I forgot about Zero.
It even says Hutt Crime Lord.
That's why Jabba's up there. That makes sense, though.
Yeah, and then he falls in love with someone, and she says, I love you from my head down to my liquid sack. Best line.
Cad Bane is pretty nasty, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, so Cad Bane, it was a mix for me.
That's why I'm excited about the new Mando when it comes out.
It was a mix for me between Cad Bane and Hondo, because the first time I actually saw Cad Bane was in The Mandalorian, and then I saw him in Clone Wars, and he's even more of a beast in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But I feel like he does similar stuff as Hondo, and so they're both kind of bounty hunters, but Hondo has like a whole team, whereas Cad Bane is by himself. Well, then that kind of puts Cad Bane up higher than Hondo.
You already established
Hondo has a whole
team.
team of pirates. I still pick Hondo. Hondo's
It's too
pretty.
late.
Hondo's cool.
Cad Bane's out.
Cad Bane is pretty dope though.
C-3PO. What's your thoughts? Whoa. Is that bad? You made a Jar Jar noise there.
Oops. C-3PO. He is always getting lost.
True. And getting into some trouble somewhere.
All the time. Yes, he's good because he could speak many languages and understand. But he's always getting lost.
But again, I mean, if you're talking about like longevity, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Darth Sidious are the only people that are like in from beginning to the end.
True. Well, because they're a droid. So.
Yeah, but there's a lot of droids that got killed. Done for.
True. True. He reminds me of a really, really smart person that is super awkward. Yeah. Someone who's always getting lost. Lost or in trouble or doesn't pay attention and just gets on the wrong ship. It's like, oh no, I'm going the wrong way.
So, the way you read, who's worse for you, him or Jar Jar?
Jar Jar.
I think Jar Jar is easily
Jar
the worst on
Jar
everyone's list.
is the worst. And you know what I hated? When we played the Lego game and you had to be Jar Jar. Here's even the character on the game was
Annoying.
yeah. But that's my list.
It's funny how much they missed with Jar Jar, though. Because their original goal was Jar Jar was supposed to be like the Chewbacca effect did on those first three episodes, but then when everyone hated him so much in episode 1, they scaled him back on the rest of the episodes.
He was so annoying.
No one likes Jar Jar.
Yeah. Misha, Odusha. Ha 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 ha. But yeah. That is my list, and it is rated from, well, 1
You
to
want me
10,
to do my rank?
but
Because this is my top 10, but do you want me to do which ones would be 1, which ones would
yeah,
be...
yeah. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. It's going to be hard, but 1 would have to be Boba Fett. Boba Fett would be my 1, 2. 2 would stick with Yoda. I would still stick with Yoda. 3, I would stick with Darth Maul, actually. Because again, Darth Maul is actually my favorite Sith, which most people probably won't agree with, but he's just my favorite. I've always liked Darth Maul.
It's number 3?
As number 3. I'd keep him at number 3. This is where it gets a little bit harder, but I'd say
It's a little dicey.
4 would be R2-D2. 5 would be Darth Vader. 6 would be Lando. Lando would be my number 6. 7 would be Mace. Then I would do Solo. Wait, am I missing stuff here? Yeah. Actually, no, I wouldn't do Solo. Where am I at? What number am I at? I told you this one would be hard.
You're on number 5.
Who did I say was 5? Did I say who 5 was? I forgot about Chewbacca, though.
You said Boba Fett, and then
Yoda. Maul.
R2-D2.
R2-D2.
So yeah, you're on 5.
Okay, 5, I would say Lando. Lando would be my number 5.
Just because he has swag?
I love Lando.
What's his line?
What's his line?
In the movie, that's the most iconic line that Lando says. What is it?
What does he say to Leia? Well, hello there.
Is that what he says?
He does.
Well, hello there. Let me see.
Or,
I don't think that's what
what do we have here? That's what he says. That's what he says. What do we have here? Don't knock me because I love Lando. Lando's... Yes, it's because he has swag. And Billy D. Williams has always had swag in anything he's in. So Lando, don't knock my list right now. Lando would be 5. 6 would be Chewbacca. 7 would be Solo. 8 would be Windu. And who am I missing? Wait, did I put Darth Vader yet? Oh, so Darth Vader actually would be 6 then. See, this is why this is hard. I can't actually rank these people. I'm just putting them all in top 10. I'm not ranking them anymore. But if I did rank them, 10 definitely would be Grogu. Grogu barely made the cut. And he just made the cut because he was cute and because Kalani likes him. That's the only reason I put him up there. What does he say to Leia? He says,
I don't know.
what do we have here?
Hello, what have we here?
Yeah.
You said, what do we have here?
Whatever.
Hello.
Close it up.
Hello.
Don't knock me because I like Lando.
Weird.
I didn't knock you because you put some people on yours.
Hey. If they
This is
had
surprising.
if they had a backstory on the Hutts, bro,
Like it'd be funny if
A
they did have one
series.
and they did like a true crimes type stuff, like set up, like it was an actual documentary.
that would be like
Instead
I
of
would
making
watch
it like
that.
a movie of like, oh, this is them, like literally have a narration of like,
I would watch it.
make it like an actual documentary type of
'Cause I think
the Hutts.
I think Zero initially was coming in to kill somebody. I don't remember. Like who? That's dope.
I mean, even in the Book of Boba, They were like running everything and was coming in to kill him.
Yeah.
I respect the Jabba the Hutt. That made sense to me.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I love all things mob families, all that. It's just so interesting to me. So, yeah, Jabba the Hutt is lower on the list just because
It's Jabba the Hutt.
it's Jabba the Hutt. But the story of him and his family, pretty dope. All right, I have nothing else to say. I gave.
Families on the top 10. You got a
I gave-
question?
No.
I have one question.
Yep.
Favorite Star Wars movie?
You already know this.
Oh, well. It's for the
Oh,
podcast.
it's for the podcast?
Like,
Okay. Favorite Star Wars movie is A New Hope.
is there a reason why you put those over that one over all of them?
I just really like that one. And I like that they're on... Oh man, the name of the planet is... I am blanking on the name of the planet that they're on. The name of the planet is called...
They weren't really on a planet on one, though. On A New Hope. That's the one where they blew up the Death Star and everything. Oh, Tatooine? Is that what you're talking
Not
about?
Tatooine. No. Shoot, I'm blanking on... I'm really trying to think of the name. And
What does it look like?
It's white and it's icy.
That's Hoth, but that's Empire Strikes Back. Hoth isn't in
I got them all confused.
the first one.
But
in
A New Hope is by far my favorite.
Empire Strikes Back is mine, which has Hoth in it.
Yeah,
'Cause
Empire Strikes Back.
And the only reason that's my favorite
ooh.
is because of that scene with Hoth. And then that's when you find out Vader's Luke's dad.
Yeah.
I still remember watching that the first time and being like, wait, what? I didn't know that.
Again. And then you find out, oh, it's Anakin.
Yeah.
Most boring Star Wars.
Movies?
Movies.
Just movies.
Not TV shows, not all that.
Boring.
Movies. Most boring movie. Star Wars movie. I can tell you mine. I know.
Go ahead.
Phantom Menace.
See, that one's not boring to me, but that's just because Darth Maul's in it, though. But I feel like the first two...
Wait, no. Am I...
That's the one with the pod racing and all that stuff. So, yes, episode 1, you always say that's the most boring one. Because it is pretty boring. I mean, the whole movie's kind of...
Yep.
Kind of boring, because the first two to me, if you're going just based off boring, they are pretty boring because they're more story based than action, and so it's like they're building up to this point. But for me, if I had to choose between the two, it would just be Clone Wars. Episode 2 would be the worst for me, the boringest, and the only reason why is that not a word? That is a word.
The most boring.
Whatever. Boring is most boring. It's the same thing. You knew what I meant.
The most boring.
But yeah, I'd put that one there just because for me, I think I've told you this before, they talk about the Clone Wars like on through 4 through 6 about people being in the Clone Wars and everything. And so you're expecting a bunch of Clone Wars and everything like that because it's called Clone Wars. And the only great part where there's clones and wars is really the very ending when it ends. The whole movie's really about their whole love story. So it's like, yeah.
I love the love story, though.
It wasn't what I was wanting.
Is that where they're in the field?
Yeah.
Oh, my
And
favorite.
rolling on the ground and everything.
Yes, I love
Nah.
the love. I love the love story. Oh!
It's very disappointing when you're expecting Clone Wars and then you have to wait till the
Technically-
very end to get the Clone Wars. And then you gotta watch Clone
Technically,
Wars to
it
get all the
is-
Clone Wars.
Technically, it is the Clone Wars happening because it you just have to trust the story. But you just don't see it at the moment. It's on another planet.
Well, no, because the clones weren't even there yet till the very end. I do have a memory. The only reason I watched the original ones is because my dad rented it from the library. And I remember watching the first one, VHS, watching it, and was like, I need the next one. We went and rented the next one and rented the next one. It's crazy. That just even sounded weird saying that we rented a movie at the library.
That was a VHS at the library?
At the library.
Not Blockbuster?
No. It was cheaper.
So.
And they had them all there. They had the whole saga there.
Cheaper, but if it's at the library, wouldn't it technically be free?
Well, oh yeah, exactly my point. So it's cheaper. It's still cheaper. Rented it, borrowed it, whatever you want to call it.
Best times though was going to Blockbuster and getting a movie and candy.
Yeah.
To watch. My favorite
popcorn.
Chocolate covered gummy bears. Those were my favorite to get at Blockbuster.
It does not sound appealing.
Oh, it's delicious.
Chocolate with fruit just does not sound good.
It's not fruit. It's gelatin.
Fruity, whatever. But I mean, it's like a fruity
candy. Have you had chocolate covered strawberries?
Yeah, and they're not my favorite. They're okay.
You're fired.
You should have known that was my answer.
You're fired. I wore my Converse high tops and my Levi's 501 button-up fly jeans.
Was your mom, what's his name on that 70s show? Eric?
Yes.
Always bringing up Luke.
So here's the story. I feel like I'm... Whatever he says. Yeah. But this is fun.
Any other questions that you can make up?
I cannot think of any questions, but...
Ooh, I got one.
Another one?
I got one. And you'll like it. Do you know what the differences are between...
Yes, I will marry you.
Galaxy's Edge in LA and Galaxy's Edge in Disney World? Is it bigger?
Do I know the difference? No. I thought they were the same.
Like, I mean, like, do you know if they're like the same size or they set up the same? I know they have that hotel there that sounds ridiculous.
I don't think it's set up the same. Ooh, actually, I think it might be set up the same. Because the pictures that I see of Disney World's Galaxy's Edge, it looks like it's similar. Yeah, but I don't know the difference between, I don't know if they're the same or if they're different. Man, makes me want to go. I want to go so bad. And even when we went to Disneyland, we never went on the Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
He said...
We missed that.
Really pretty the same.
Okay.
Even the layout?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was different or not. I do want to go to that hotel eventually, though.
You know how much money you have to just do that? It's a lot of money.
Okay, so she doesn't want to go, people, so I guess we'll never do that.
People? Why do you keep saying people?
I told you, everyone's people. Why? What else are they going to be?
No, I'd like to go. I just don't know how the experience would be. You know, if it would be worth the money. Because you have to, like, they have to stay in character. Layout is similar, yeah. They have to stay in character. They have to entertain you. I saw a video of this lady. It was like a concert. And she was having, like, her concert in the cafe that they were having there. But, yeah, they have to stay in character. You're part of the people on the ship. And so it's just, like, you feel like it's immersive. So, yeah. It would be dope to go. I just
don't know how much you
know. I know you guys are down. It would be so much fun to go. Oh my goodness. Uncle Aki's gonna force it.
Hey, we do cosplay, that's fine.
But at Disneyland.
Yeah, that's fine.
That would call what is that called?
Is it not called isn't that the same thing?
There's a term
Disney
for it.
makes their own
No. There's a term for it called...
It's cosplay.
Oh, man, I'm blanking on the name.
It's just cosplay.
But when you dress a particular way to resemble a character. It's called Disney something.
Cosplay.
Technically. He liked that you put Hondo on the list. Okay, thank you. So I had it between Hondo and Cad Bane, but I figured Hondo because he has a whole team of people. But then again, if you think of Cad Bane is by himself.
She's still deciding
I'm still
between.
mixed between
She tried
the
to
two.
squeeze both of them there, and I told her, no, you've got to leave one out.
Cad Bane and Hondo, because I couldn't decide. Hondo, though, is pretty dope, so I chose him.
And she mainly have those on her mind because she's still watching Clone Wars right now.
I'm technically watching Clone Wars still. I'm almost done. Ish. Kind of. Not really. I'm halfway. I'm trying to think of another question in terms of best.
I'm sticking in a theme with Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, so I don't have Grogu on the list because I only recently knew of him from The Mandalorian, and I don't really know much of his background. I don't really know how old he is. I know he's old, but I don't know all of the backstory, how powerful he is. I feel like right now we're just scratching the surface on how powerful Grogu is and on what his capabilities are. So Grogu to be cute, I would have Grogu on the list for being cute. But yeah. I don't know much about him. All these other ones that I have on the list, I know their backstory and everything, and that's the reason why I chose them for that. When are we thinking about going to Florida? Not anytime soon, because we need funds. Both kid Princess Leia and adult. I like her as a character, but I also have a special place in my heart for Carrie Fisher. So, kind of a 2-for-1.
If I
had to pick, both. No question, either or.
Always escaping it.
I'm answering the question both. Technically, it's the same person, but technically not. That's not an answer. If I had to choose, I would choose Princess Leia. Kid Princess Leia. Pretty dope. Are we good to wrap it up?
I'm good.
Okay.
You gonna close in prayer? I closed last time.
You closed last time?
I did.
So as always, we will be ending in prayer. All right. Thank you, Lord, for another day that you have blessed us with. I pray, Lord, that you watch over each and every one of us. I also pray, Lord, that you touch the lives of those who are in this stream and us here in this room. I pray that you give us a special blessing, peace and comfort as we go to bed, to sleep, and throughout the rest of the week. Thank you again, Lord, for all of the blessings that you've given us. In Jesus' name, amen.